While I was at university, in my final year, I achieved a first-class degree in economics while also training like a full-time footballer. I went to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, had team training sessions, match days, and also did my own technical work to supplement that. Because of all of that consistency, by the end of the season, I was fitter, faster, stronger, and much more technical. And most of all, my Indian mother did not disown me because I also got the degree. Very good, very good. I wanted to make this video for you ballers who are really trying to push on with your footballing ability, but have studies or something else to balance alongside it. So I'm going to break down the key things that I used to make sure that I stayed consistent with my studies and also with my footballing progression. The way I see it, you want to minimize the amount of time that you spend studying so you can maximize your focus on improving in the gym, on the pitch, and your progression as a footballer. In other words, you want to become a productivity beast so that you can maximize the efficiency in your studying, and then you can become a beast on the football pitch. During my final year, the way I did this was by using football training in the gym as motivation for me to get through my studies. I'll explain. Honestly, I did not want to study. Let me make that clear. I did not enjoy studying for my degree, but I knew I wasn't going to drop out. So I had to find a way of motivating myself through that process. And the way that I motivated myself to stay consistent with my studies was by using progression as an athlete and a footballer as a reward for doing that academic work. I knew that as soon as I'd completed what I needed to in the library, I'd done my studies, I was going to be out there on the football pitch, or I was going to be in the gym, and I was going to be working towards the goal that I really cared about. This actually led me to work with so much more motivation for my academics because I just saw that as an obstacle to overcome to reach my end goal. So I'm going to break down what an average day looked like for me when I was studying and also hitting the things that I needed to progress as a footballer. But before I do that, please make sure that you're subscribed to this channel if you haven't done already, because I've got so many more interesting videos for footballers coming up in the next few weeks. Okay, so my average day looked something along these lines. First things first, I would wake up at around 7:30 and do some form of exercise to get my day going. That could be going for a run. If I had training that evening, maybe I'll just do some stretching and mobility in the morning to get my body ready. This is an excellent morning habit just to get that blood flowing and give you a really energized start to the day, and I still do this. Then after some form of breakfast, I would make my way to the university library and zone in. I would often be there by 9 a.m. and that's when I'd really focus on executing the tasks that I needed to for the day. I would really recommend working to task execution instead of the number of hours that you want to put in. I find that when I allot a time slot, I can just sit there, kind of half-ass the work, scroll on my phone a little bit, and oh well, I've done 3 hours now so I can leave, but I don't actually achieve anything, and then I end up feeling more overwhelmed later. If you work to task execution, then I say, okay, once I get these 3 or 4 tasks done, I'm out of here, I'm on the training pitch, and I'm in the gym working on the thing that I really care about. And so once my academic tasks were completed, I was out of there. Often I'd be on the campus AstroTurf by around 3 p.m. doing my own technical training, working different aspects of my game. I was kind of lucky because it was COVID during this time, and having taken my footballs into the library with me, I'd climb the gate to the AstroTurf, be on the pitch completely free for around 2 hours, working on those technical fundamentals. Once I'd finished that pitch session, I'd head back to my university house, grab something quick to eat, for example, a protein bar, and then I'd head to the gym. By 6 p.m, I was in the gym with my friend who has the poshest name of all time, Piers, and we'd be doing a gym session for around an hour and a half to 2 hours. We'd usually finish that gym session around 8 p.m, so we'd head home then, cook dinner, eat, watch whatever football was on in the evening, and then by around 10 p.m, I was in my room preparing for the next day. Now this was a crucial bit. Every single evening, I would plan my next day meticulously. Each evening, I would figure out what module or subject I was going to prioritize the following day, if there were any assignments coming up that I really needed to focus on. I would write out a brief plan on what I wanted to focus on the pitch. Was it dribbling in and out of cones? Was it working on my weaker foot? Was it working on my crossing ability or my first touch? By planning out exactly what I was going to do the following day, I removed any kind of decision making when I woke up in the morning and as I moved through the day. It was just a list of tasks that I needed to tick off, and I knew that if I ticked off those tasks, that consistency was going to push me towards progression in every aspect of my life. I cannot stress how important it is to plan the next day the night before, because it makes your life so much more straightforward. On the weekends, given the fact that the weekdays were a pretty big grind, I would just use those exclusively for the things that I cared about. Our matches would often be a 2 or 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday, so in the morning I'd wake up at a leisurely time, I'd cook some food, make sure that I'm really well fed before the match, maybe play some FIFA, watch some football if any matches had kicked off, and then I'd head to the game, play, come back, and then relax in the evening as well. On Sundays, I would use this as a really crucial preparation period for the week. I'd look ahead. Is there anything that I really needed to prioritize? Is there anything that I wanted to work on from the match day on Saturday in the technical sessions that I was going to do by myself? I would also do my grocery shopping, do some meal prep so I knew that I was getting enough protein during the week. And then finally, I'd spend the rest of the time catching up with friends or talking to family on the phone. But hold on, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't I at university? Why wasn't I out drinking? Why wasn't I out partying, living that university lifestyle? Listen, there were some nights, especially the nights after matches, that I went out with a couple friends and we'd go out drinking, but honestly, I didn't have that much motivation to go and do that kind of stuff. For the 3 years prior to my final year of university, I was living the uni lifestyle, but feeling pretty lost, feeling pretty empty while I was doing so. They say that when you have no purpose in life, you end up chasing pleasure, and that is a completely fair way to summarize the way that I was before I decided I wanted to pursue football. I wanted to play football more than anything else in the world, and that definitely included being surrounded by drunk people, most of whom I probably didn't even like. Honestly, I had about 1 or 2 real friends at university, and that was enough for me. I'd rather have people who I consider brothers in my life than fake friends every single day of the week. It's really about what you want, and that brings me back to the topic of this video. If you don't enjoy studying, you don't see the point, but you know you're going to do it anyway, you have to create a why for yourself. For me, I didn't really care about academics, but anytime I wanted to pack it in and quit, I just thought about my mum and how proud she'd be when she saw that I'd achieved a degree, and also how disappointed she'd be if I didn't get a good grade. There are always going to be things that you don't want to do. That's true in football and also in life, but the ones who are really successful are the ones who find a way to push through that mental resistance. And as you guys know, ballers find a way.